He cleaned their floors for 30 years until the school decided he was disposable. But the next morning, a billionaire landed on the front lawn. Not for the students, not for the principal, but for the janitor who once saved his life. What happens next isn't just redemption, it's a revolution in respect. This is the true story of what happens when the invisible finally gets seen. It started like any other Monday morning at Eastbridge High. The sky was clear. The bell rang like it always did. Students trickled through the wide glass doors, earbuds in, coffee cups in hand, laughing and pushing through sleepy routines. But something was off. Something small but sharp. The janitor's cart was missing from its usual spot in the west hallway. For over 3 decades, Mr. Leon Booker had arrived before sunrise, mopping floors, fixing busted lockers, handing out granola bars to kids who hadn't eaten. He was more than the school's caretaker. He was its quiet, steady heart. But on that morning, he was just gone. No announcement, no goodbye, no framed photo in the staff lounge, just silence. Sophia Grant, a junior known for calling things exactly as she saw them, was the first to say it aloud. "Where's Mr. Booker?" She stood with her best friend Deshawn under the stairwell near the cafeteria, where Mr. Booker usually greeted students with a nod and a "y'all doing all right?" Now, nothing. "I heard Principal Carver let him go," Deshawn whispered, glancing over his shoulder like he was sharing a state secret. "Budget cuts or some crap. Said he was too old to keep up." Sophia's mouth fell open. Too old. He fixed half the crap in this building last week. Students began piecing together what had happened, bits of rumor layered with quiet dread. A substitute custodian had been spotted rolling in a new cart. Teachers avoided eye contact when asked. One student claimed they saw Mr. Booker leaving the building Friday afternoon with a cardboard box and his nameplate tucked under one arm. No one said goodbye. Not officially. Not even Principal Carver, who strutted down the hallway like nothing had changed. To Sophia, it felt personal. Mr. Booker had walked her home in the rain in 8th grade when her mom forgot to pick her up. He once gave Deshawn $20 for a bus pass when his wallet was stolen. He'd been at every school play, every championship game, every awkward pep rally, and now, gone. Like a worn-out broom someone decided to throw away. Sophia stormed into the main office after 3rd period. "I want to know what happened to Mr. Booker." The secretary blinked. "Excuse me? You heard me. Why was he fired?" The woman fumbled with a pen. "You'll have to speak with the principal about staffing changes." "Then let me speak with him. I'm afraid he's busy." "Then tell him I said this school is making a mistake." She turned and walked out, pulse pounding. Deshawn caught up with her in the hallway. "Did he say anything before he left?" she asked. Deshawn shook his head. "I think he didn't want to cause a scene, just walked out." Sophia's jaw clenched. "He gave 30 years to this place. 30, and they treat him like a disposable mop? That's not just a mistake, it's evil." By lunch, whispers became protests. Students posted on social media. "Justice for Booker" started trending locally. A few teachers liked the posts quietly, under burner accounts. Still, no one gave answers. But what no one at Eastbridge High knew, what no student, teacher, or administrator could have predicted, was that someone else had heard about Mr. Booker's firing. Someone powerful, someone with a reason not to forget. And the very next morning, Eastbridge High's peaceful routine would be shattered by the sound of rotor blades, a descending black helicopter, and the arrival of a man no one expected. A man who once mopped floors beside Mr. Booker. It was 7:58 a.m. when the roar shattered the stillness. Sophia had just stepped off the bus when a deep, rhythmic rumble filled the air, distant at first, then growing louder, vibrating through the pavement. Students paused mid-step. Teachers peered out windows. Phones came out like reflexes. "Yo, is that a helicopter?" someone shouted. From above, slicing through the clouds, a sleek black chopper descended onto the lawn in front of Eastbridge High. Its matte shell gleamed under the morning sun. Dust and loose papers whipped through the air as the landing gear touched down with calculated precision. Students gawked. Some ran toward the front steps, others just froze. Inside the main office, Principal Carver watched in disbelief, coffee suspended in midair. "What the hell?" he muttered, stepping toward the window. The blades slowed, the side door hissed open, and from the helicopter stepped a man in a tailored charcoal suit, tall and commanding, framed in the swirling wind like something out of a movie. Polished shoes, crisp lines, cufflinks that shimmered like they cost more than Carver's car. His name was Marcus King. Most didn't recognize him yet, but a few teachers gasped. Deshaun, scrolling Twitter, widened his eyes. "Dude, that's Marcus King?" "The Marcus King? The billionaire tech guy, King Dynamics, that's him." Carver rushed outside, straightening his tie, pasting on his thinnest mask of authority. Sir, I'm Principal Carver," he stammered. "Can I ask what brings you to Eastbridge?" Marcus didn't shake his hand, didn't smile. His voice was even, steady, sharp as a blade. "I'm here for Leon Booker." The words hit like a thunderclap. Students exchanged stunned looks. Teachers stopped pretending not to listen. Carver blinked. "Mr. Booker, he's no longer employed here." "I know," Marcus said, his jaw tight. "That's why I'm asking where he is. I'm not sure that's appropriate." "I didn't ask if it was appropriate," Marcus cut in. "I asked where I can find him." Carver's facade cracked, his lips twitching into something between confusion and fear. Then a voice from the crowd. "He lives on Belmont Avenue," a freshman called out, nervous but clear. "Number 232. I saw him walk home last week." Marcus gave the kid a nod, a real one, the kind you don't forget. "Thank you." He turned to re-enter the helicopter, and that's when Sophia moved. "Come on," she hissed to Deshaun, grabbing his wrist. "We're going." "What?" "Into that chopper. We're gonna die." But she was already slipping through the students, pulling him with her. They ducked around the security guard still stunned in place, and just as the doors began to close, they jumped in. Inside, it smelled like leather, wood polish, and money. The pilot looked confused but said nothing. The rotors whined back to life. Marcus glanced up, startled but not angry. "Explain," he said, folding his arms. Sophia spoke first. "We're here because you're asking about Mr. Booker and nobody else has." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "And he mattered to us," Deshaun added. "And we want to know why he matters to you." Marcus studied them. Something flickered in his eyes. Recognition? Approval? Maybe both. Then he turned toward the window, voice low and deliberate. "I was 14 when I met Leon Booker. I worked nights at the city garage, got kicked out of school. Nobody believed in me. Nobody but him." Sophia leaned in. "He showed me how to patch my first tire, bought me lunch, talked to me like I was worth something, and when everyone else gave up on me, Mr. Booker didn't." He paused. "Now I run the company that bought that garage, and I'm here to return the favor." The helicopter dipped toward the skyline. And for the first time, Mr. Booker's story wasn't ending. It was about to begin again, on his own terms. The helicopter touched down in an empty gravel lot across from a small, weather-worn house on Belmont Avenue. The lawn was overgrown. A broken porch step sagged under the weight of time. And on the front stoop, hunched slightly, sat Mr. Leon Booker, a thermos in one hand, a stack of unpaid bills in the other. He didn't look up when the helicopter landed. Not until the wind kicked dust across his feet and a familiar voice called his name. "Mr. Booker." Leon squinted against the light, lowering his thermos. That voice? No, it couldn't be. The figure stepped closer, suit jacket fluttering in the rotor wash, polished shoes crunching over loose stones. Leon stood slowly. When his eyes focused, they widened. "Marcus?" The billionaire stepped onto the sidewalk, nodding once. "It's me." Leon blinked, stunned. What in the world are you doing here?" Sophia and Deshaun stepped out behind Marcus, staying respectfully back. "I heard what happened," Marcus said, "and I'm not letting it stand." Leon's shoulders tensed. "You don't have to do anything for me." I know, Marcus said gently, but I want to. He reached into his inner jacket pocket and pulled out a crisp folder. Inside, a signed contract. Leon eyed it but didn't move. What's that, he asked. A job offer, Marcus said. One that honors the man who saved me from becoming just another statistic. Leon chuckled, dry, tired. I'm just a janitor, son. Marcus shook his head. You were never just a janitor. You were a mentor, a protector. You taught me that I had value. You saw me when no one else did. His voice tightened. And now I'm giving you the dignity this world should have handed you long ago. Leon hesitated, his hand trembling slightly as he reached for the folder. He held it like it might disappear if he blinked. I don't even know what to say. Sophia stepped forward, unable to stay quiet. You don't have to say anything, Mr. Booker. Just know we saw what they did to you. And we're done letting people like Principal Carver treat folks like you, like you're disposable. Deshawn added, they thought you were invisible, but you're not. Not anymore. Leon looked between the three of them, heart pounding harder than it had in years. You kids, I just cleaned up after you. Marcus smiled, and in doing that, you gave us more than some teachers ever did. He pointed to the folder again. This isn't just any job. I'm building something real, a new kind of school, one where kids like I was get a real chance, and I want you to help build it with me. Leon blinked. You want me? To work at a school? I want you to help lead it, Marcus said. Help shape it. We need people with heart, with integrity, people who know what being overlooked feels like. Leon looked at his hands, hands that had fixed sinks, mopped floors, carried trash bags, hands that had been thanked too little and punished too often. You're serious? Marcus nodded. I've got architects, educators, investors, but what I need is soul. That's you, Mr. Booker. Silence filled the space between them. Then finally, Leon Booker, former janitor, straightened his back and exhaled slowly. All right, he said. Let's build something. And just like that, for the first time in decades, he felt whole. But across the street, inside a parked sedan, a pale face watched from behind tinted glass. Principal Carver gripped the steering wheel until his knuckles turned white. Because for the first time in his life, he'd lost control. The estate was unlike anything Leon Booker had ever seen. Sprawling lawns, towering glass buildings under construction, the distant hum of machinery and clean white trailers set up like mobile offices. And in the middle of it all, a massive sign with bold black letters, King Future Academy, opening fall 2026. He stood at the edge of the gravel path, hands in his pockets, still in the faded windbreaker he'd worn for years at Eastbridge High. Beside him, Marcus King motioned toward the sleek facility rising from the ground. This is where it starts, Marcus said. A school built for the kids the system forgot. Leon's jaw clenched, not from anger, but from something deeper, a slow-burning disbelief that this was real. Sophia and Deshawn trailed behind them, whispering in awe at the blueprint diagrams displayed on standing easels. Inside the makeshift headquarters, Leon was introduced to architects, curriculum designers, former teachers, and nonprofit directors. But unlike every other time he'd stepped into a room of professionals, no one looked through him. No one offered a forced smile or asked him to sweep up. They stood up when he entered. Marcus addressed the room with clarity and confidence. This man, he said, gesturing toward Leon, isn't just here for ceremony. He's here to help us build the foundation. He knows these kids. He's walked their hallways. He's seen what's broken. And now, he's here to help us fix it. Applause broke out. Leon froze, not because he didn't believe it was happening, but because he'd never heard clapping for him before. Not like this. He sat through meetings, he asked questions, he offered suggestions, and when someone asked, "What would you change if you could wave a magic wand over your old school?" Leon didn't hesitate. "I'd stop treating the janitor like the floor," he said simply. "And I'd start treating the cafeteria lady, the night security guy, the hall monitor, like the heartbeat of the building. The room went quiet. Then someone said, "That's the mission right there." Sophia and Deshawn high-fived silently behind him. Later that evening, Leon stood on a balcony at the estate, the lights of the city glowing in the distance. He held a cup of tea, his back a little straighter than before. "You still sure about this?" Marcus asked, stepping beside him. "I haven't been this sure about anything in a long time," Leon replied. "Not just because it's a second chance, but because I don't want another kid to grow up believing they're invisible." He looked at Marcus. "You know, they always said janitors are the first ones in and the last ones out. Funny how that prepared me for leadership." Marcus laughed. "You were always leading, Leon. The world just forgot how to look." Across the city, in a much dimmer office, Principal Carver refreshed his inbox again. 2 more parents had withdrawn their children from Eastbridge. Local media had picked up whispers of what happened. Teachers were uneasy. The district had requested a meeting. And worst of all, Marcus King had posted a single photo online that morning. A snapshot of Leon standing proudly in front of the construction site, hard hat in hand, smiling in a way that made people stop scrolling. The caption was only 4 words. "We're building it different." Carver stared at it for a long time, and for the first time in his polished, unchallenged career, he felt something eat away at him that no title could silence. Regret. By the time the grand opening of King Future Academy arrived, Leon Booker had become more than a name on a staff directory. He was a symbol. Parents spoke of him in PTA meetings. Students referred to him with the kind of reverence usually reserved for legends. Staff from other districts whispered about the janitor who became a founding director. But Leon? He just showed up every morning before sunrise, old habits die hard, and made sure the cafeteria had fresh fruit and that the front lobby didn't smell like new paint. The school was stunning. Glass-paneled classrooms, meditation rooms, workshops with 3D printers. But what mattered most wasn't what you saw. It was what you felt. Here, kids were met with eye contact. Their names were remembered. No one was invisible, especially not the ones who usually were. At the dedication ceremony, Marcus King stepped to the podium, flanked by press cameras, city officials, and hundreds of curious families. But instead of delivering a speech, he motioned to the man in the front row. "Mr. Booker," Marcus said into the mic, "would you do the honors?" Leon stood slowly. There was a brief hush as he approached the stage, wearing a crisp navy blazer over a button-down shirt. First time in years he dressed like this. He adjusted the mic. "No notes, no script, just heart. I used to clean schools like this," he said. "Now I get to build one." Laughter. Applause. A few teary eyes. "I'm not here because I'm special. I'm here because someone saw value in what the world ignored. And now, I get to do the same for every child who walks through those doors." He looked at Sophia and Deshawn, now interns at the Academy's Youth Council. They smiled, pride in their eyes. This school is for the ones who get overlooked, and it's built by the ones who were overlooked too. He stepped back. Applause thundered like a wave. Later that afternoon, Leon found a quiet moment on a bench near the school's garden, a space he'd insisted they build for students to just breathe. His thermos in one hand, sunlight on his shoulders. Marcus sat beside him. "You never told me what you thought," Leon said. "About what?" "About that principal." Marcus smirked. "Principal Carver?" "Yeah." I didn't have to say anything. The school board asked questions. The media asked more. Parents pulled their kids. Carver submitted his resignation last month. Leon nodded slowly. "Figures." "You want revenge?" Marcus asked, tilting his head. Leon took a sip of tea, then shook his head. "Nah, I got something better." He gestured toward the courtyard, where students laughed, teachers smiled, and a mural painted with the words, "You belong here," wrapped around the building's entrance. Across town, Principal Carver sat in a quiet cafe with a newspaper folded in front of him. On the front page, new model school opens, led by former janitor. No mention of him, no chance to rewrite his role in the story. He sipped bitter coffee and stared out the window. And he knew. He'd become a footnote. The man who tried to erase someone and ended up erasing himself. Back at the academy, Leon walked the halls with ease. A kindergartner waved and shouted, "Hi, Mr. B." He waved back, heart full. He'd been thrown away, but now he was the cornerstone. The story of Leon Booker wasn't just a redemption arc. It was a quiet revolution, proof that power doesn't always come with a title, and that when systems fail people, it only takes one person who remembers to start building something better. What is the lesson of this story? 1. No job defines your worth. Respect isn't reserved for titles, it's earned through character. 2. Small kindness can echo for a lifetime. You never know how deeply one act of compassion can change someone's future. 3. People remember how you made them feel. Mr. Booker was forgotten by his institution, but never by the hearts he impacted. 4. Revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes, the most powerful clapback is to build something better and bring others with you. 5. We rise by lifting others. Marcus King didn't just return gratitude, he created a legacy. What do you think about this story? Let's comment below to discuss. And don't forget to subscribe our channel to listen to more interesting stories.